Hey, it's Alonzo Stanley, Bell Bank Mortgage with Melissa Al-Rifai here. She is the manager, and we are just going to have a discussion. We're going off the cuff, and we are going to have a really fun time. Before we get into this, let me check my audio. I think it's coming through okay here. Looks like you guys can hear. And as we get into our discussion today, we're going to flip the script a little bit today and have Melissa is going to be asking me some questions today. But before we get started, just a little bit about how I love and we love to work here. One thing we do is we love to close on time with less stress. Let me turn this music down. We love to close on time with less stress here at Bell Bank. One thing we have is I utilize a RTP relationship tracking program where we have a system of calls that we make on a weekly basis and updates, as well as using software to make things happen and communicate with our clients and all those in the process. A lot of fun. Also, we do social, like you see here. Each week we're going live in some form or fashion, be it perfect or imperfect, major imperfect sometimes. But just having a good time as well in the process. And also look out for events that we'll be doing. Melissa loves events too, so we like to have a good time. We party pretty hard here at Bell Bank Mortgage. So again, with that being said, we're just going to kind of have a casual Friday here and ask a few questions. Tell them who you are.
Yeah, I'm Melissa. I'm the branch manager here at Bell Bank Mortgage in Brentwood, Tennessee. And I'm also a loan originator, so I know what it means to be out there and be in this crazy market right now. I've been doing this for about 12 years and been with Bell, just celebrated my 5-year anniversary with Bell.
Awesome. Very good. So, and we appreciate having Melissa here because she brings in the culture of Bell and having that experience as we are kind of a newer in our market, but we've been here a little while ourselves. I'm approaching 3 years here with the bank, and it's been one of the best opportunities I've ever had. So, Melissa, you have a few questions I think you were going to ask. This is kind of strange because I think she's asking me questions, which I normally ask the questions. What you got?
Well, I think it's just a great time to talk about this crazy market because it's been shifting pretty rapidly and there's been a lot of crazy things going on. So just wanted to talk to you about, in your role as a loan officer, how are you kind of managing through this shifting market for your clients and for your realtors to be successful in a market that's really flipped upside down from where it was a year ago?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. The market right now it's always changing. As you see the shifts over time, things. One time it's a seller's market. One time it's a buyer's market. There's certain products that sellers are willing to accept and not. It might be a time when it's THDA season, but there might be a time when nobody's wanting to do any THDA business, or government business. So. But I will say that my theory or my philosophy in this business has always been, and my passion is somebody's always got to have a place to live. So those first time buyers have been really important to me over the years because people are aging out of their mama and daddy's house, supposed to, right? So I'm excited to help those individuals start their journey on homeownership. And not only that, it's just so important to be able to give people an opportunity to get access to equity. Equity is one thing that once you have it, you can do so much with. It's a nest egg for not only your generation, but future generations in your family. Real estate holds value. In a way that's most effective for them. And most of the times, it's going to be restrictions are going to be those that may be credit wise, credit education, and also down payment. Those two things are hot buttons for those trying to establish home ownership. But what I'm going to ask, if you're on here live, leave a comment. Just say hello to us. If you can, if you have a comment or if you have a question, we'll try to address it live because we're live. Okay, so I'm kind of still getting used to this, but so if I fail, don't worry about it. We're gonna try again until we get it right. But if you're on here checking it out, leave us a comment, let us know who you are, and we'll try to address that as well. So I hope that answer did that help?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, and it made me think of another question, that a lot of people are afraid to make that call to a loan officer. They're afraid of what they don't know, and maybe they don't even know what to ask. So, like, what are some of the things that you hear first-time home buyers that call you? What are they afraid of, and what kind of questions are they asking to take the next steps into actually getting pre-qualified?
Yeah, great. Another one. When I get a call, most of the times people are leery of credit. They might not feel like they're credit worthy, credit ready. And then, of course, those two big things, credit, down payment, monthly payment. I mean, we're in Nashville. Nashville is crazy right now. See, I'm born and raised in that, when how prices used to be. And it's a lot harder for individuals to purchase these days. That's why we're considering alternative options, things like we call house hacking. How do you buy a home in this market with price points is where they are? Well, if you're renting, you may not be able to buy a home honestly in just your name. But if you have a roommate, y'all might have to think about a business strategy to make that happen. Because in 5 years, if you're still renting, your landlord's not going to pay you anything to move. But if you buy, in 5 years, you may be able to split something to then go on to the next level of life. So I'm really excited. My own daughter just did that. So very excited about the potential with that.
Yeah.
But when another thing though, with that question with credit, a lot of people feel like you have to have 750 credit scores to get a good interest rate, or you got to put 20% down. There's a program that has a 5.5% interest rate, thda.com. Check today's pricing. Again, prices stay every day, so it might not be that day. Say when. I'm sorry.
Little disclosure. Rates change until they're locked. All the good stuff. Don't quote us.
Yeah, exactly. But THDA right now is at a 5.5% interest rate, 5.5% fixed 30-year rate. You get that same rate if you're at a 640 or 800 credit score. So don't get that perfect rate because you may just be pricing yourself out of the situation. Make the call and get the information.
Yeah. I mean, I would say sometimes too, I feel like people in this market are so focused on rate, and I don't think that rate is actually what we should be talking about. We should be talking about, can I start building home ownership for myself, and how much can I afford? Right? So if you're waiting for rates to come down, to me, that's just crazy. It's kind of like, start building your equity now. You're paying 100% interest on rent anyways.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what can you afford, right? And then how do we make that happen? So I love that. And that you can get them into more home, obviously, with better rates and things like that. So that's really awesome. So what would you say? What does a day in the life of Alonzo look like?
Did you see me cross my eyes? Let me do it again. Okay. It's pretty crazy. Because the thing about this business is that it's always on. I get a call at 6 o'clock on Saturday morning. Most of the time I answer the phone. Unfortunately, sometimes I just can't help for not answering the phone. Please don't call me at 6 o'clock on Saturday morning. I might not. I probably won't. But it's every day, and people need information as fast as possible. So it's always on your toes. You can't turn it off. And you can, but I believe in trying to give people the information they need as soon as possible. So staying on top of programs, guideline changes, things that are happening in the business or in our markets. So that's very important. Staying educated, and then also doing what you can to educate other people. So we do a lot of partnerships with different organizations, delivering this type of content to nonprofit organizations as well as realtor partners and people who want to do home buyers education, and just try and find fun ways to get the word out. And then I drive this big, humongous truck eating up gas all the time. But A lot of times I'm in there working because people need information. I might just pull over and get in the back of the truck, which is like a full office, and just share that information. So it's
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, communication and education, I think, are so important, especially to first time home buyers, because, I think a lot of people do start online and they try to do their own research. But, when you're searching online, you can get information from different sites. You don't know if they're credible, you don't know if they're legitimate. And then one site says one thing and another site says another thing. And I think, people try to start looking online, and then in reality, they just need to pick up the phone and call you so that they can get the information straight from the source. So that's great that you're always on and available and willing to educate.
Is it great? No, it is great. It is great.
On days. Yeah. Okay, so if somebody's calling you for information and you mentioned minimum credit scores, what kind of things do you think that your buyers can do to improve their credit, or when do you think that they are kind of ready to purchase a home based on their credit?
Great question. So y'all know she's a pro asking these questions, right? With credit, a lot of times I would say everybody is individual as a person. I mean, it's like a puzzle credit, So don't subscribe to the all, hey, this one thing, works for everybody, because most of the times it's going to be different. So my advice in that regard is get with a mortgage professional to go ahead and start the application process, even if you're not ready to buy. It's funny when we look at the comparison between a real estate agent and a loan officer and the real estate agent. Everybody wants, the individual to call them first.
Yeah.
Because they want to represent you. They want to earn your business. I do. I actually want you to call me first, to be honest, so I can get you ready and then partner you up with a real estate agent that I trust that will give you the best service based on not only them being able to do a good job, but your personalities and things that I might think gel well. But the first call should be how much can I afford? What's my credit like? If you're not ready, let's take time to go ahead and get together and talk about it. Run through the credit, get you fully upfront, reviewed, credit reviewed, underwritten reviewed if there's any issues, so we'll know what we're working with. And again, that is so painful for a lot of people. Just the thought of having that conversation, it's like going to the doctor, But really, we're people. We're smiling over here, and we have the products and tools to help you get taken care of. So I would definitely say, get that initial pre-qualification.
Yeah. And it's funny, I'm sure you hear the same, but how many times has a client said to you, I don't want you to pull my credit, or it doesn't look good, or,
Right.
Oh, it's probably the worst you've seen. I mean, people all the time think they have the worst credit we've seen. They always think it's not good. They always think they don't have a chance. And then you pull it and you're like, okay, look, I've seen worse.
Yeah, definitely.
This is not bad. Everybody's always nervous to kind of, and it is scary. They're kind of like shedding their skin a little bit and opening up their financial world a little bit. But that's why it's so great to work with you, because, you've got an understanding, you've seen a lot. And personality wise, as you were saying, with, connecting with realtors, making sure personalities mesh. The great thing about you as well is you've got Olivia on your team.
Yeah.
So, you've got Alonzo or Olivia,
Yeah.
and kind of both opportunities to work with different personality types on the same team, right?
Definitely. And the cool thing about Olivia is she started her career working at Chick-fil-A. So when she went to Chick-fil-A, she came home one day and she said, "My pleasure." I was like, game changer.
Yeah.
So I definitely said, keep that Chick-fil-A mentality, as far as the courtesies and different things and dealing with our clients. So she's doing a fabulous job. I really appreciate Bill for introducing her to the mortgage world outside of me, and giving us that opportunity to work together. That's really cool.
Yeah, she's really awesome. And she loves educating too.
Yeah.
So that's,
Yeah.
she's put on a few classes as well. And I see her stand up there, and she's actually really passionate, like you said, about, she purchased a home with her roommate, that
Yeah.
house hacking, right? Like,
Yeah.
how am I going to start building wealth for myself?
Right.
if I can't purchase a home on my own.
Right.
And, she figured that out.
Yeah.
She's amazing. And then she's out there trying to share it with the world, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
how can I just shake more people and
Yeah.
say, you need to buy a home. You need
Yeah.
to start building something for yourself.
Yeah.
And she's got passion and drive for that too.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
We're gonna be excited seeing what she does in the future. If you're watching, I'm excited. Anyway.
Yeah. Give her a call. Give her some support. She'll talk you through it. So especially if you're scared, she just went through it, and she can speak your language. So that's awesome. So what kind of advice has somebody given you in the past that or maybe loan officers or realtors in this market? Is there anything that you think has helped make you successful in what you're doing that you could share with others?
So that's a pretty deep question. Guys, I want to say before we set that up, we are live. So anything can happen when you're live. I just heard somebody walk in the building. So maybe we'll get some other people talking. But as far as advice and things that I have received, that's a real personal question in a sense, because, I've been in the business for about 20 years and, I've had to grow. You try to find a way to get into, figure out who's your fan club, who's going to love you back. Who do you want to love? Not everybody's worth time. I mean, to be honest, because, you want to gel with people who give you that proper respect, and you want the right kind of business, basically. And so I had to learn, and still that is a constant thing for me, trying to figure out who do I want to bring my skill set to, who can benefit from it, who can I partner with and really help them. And that's my goal to this day, still trying to find the right, group of people. And that constantly evolves because people change. There's people that were in the business, they got out of the business, things of that nature. And, when you're in this business and you're commission based, you got to close a certain amount of loans each month to eat. So I guess but with all that, I'm always taking the long road to get to the short answer. But I think the real thing is figure out who you are, get in your comfort zone, and don't let anybody change that. You know what I mean? Just do your thing as long as it gels with the industry, find out what you like and love to do, and then just be great at it. And I think that when you do that, hey, you're going to succeed.
Yeah. Well, and I would say you're really good about building relationships in your community and within your network and things like that. So, what kind of ways do you think that you can build relationships with people? How long does that take? And, what kind of things are important to building your relationships with your clients or your realtors?
Well, I'd say that, it doesn't take long to build a relationship, actually. If somebody's got the same drive and energy and focus as you and they want some of the same things, as far as in our field, is creating successful families that own homes. You could be a brand new agent in the business and just have that focus and drive. We could build a great relationship. You could be seasoned and be what they, be a well, as one of our coaches calling. That's not calling you fat. it just means.
What did you say?
No, you could be, in our industry. Sometimes that's a term. One of my coaching teams uses that term. That's just somebody that does a lot of business, and been in it for a long time. But you may see something. I may be able to deliver something that your, current partner may not have in a different way. And I don't necessarily want to take over that business, but you may find a niche for me, with a product or whatever that your current lender doesn't have. So we're looking for those opportunities to partner with individuals.
Yeah. So you mentioned coaching, and I know you spent a lot of time investing in yourself, and how has coaching kind of helped you in your business?
Well, I'd say it's given me foundation. Foundation and systems is very important in this business. And it's kind of funny, you mentioned Olivia. I always say, before she came into this business, I had a child. I remember when she was born, right? Obviously, I'm the dad. Maury said I was a father.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I hope you remember.
So, but when she came into the business, it was like, hey, she's been born again. Now I got to perform so she can eat and the market turn, and so many different levels of things. So I amped up my coaching, and not just for me, it was to help give her a foundation and tools and resources so she could take advantage of it as well. So I think it's helped. I think when you have a coach, you can have a coach and pay for all the things, but if you don't use it, that's another thing. So it's another thing to just kind of, be in that and adopt that and stick with it,
Yeah.
But it's very important. A lot of the top producers that I know have a coach of some form of fashion.
Yeah, yeah. Well, just like our clients, right? I mean, we should always be preparing ourselves to grow, and not just grow in business, but growing in all areas of our life and our, spiritual, if that's what is your jam, your family, your finances, your business, everything, right? We've always got to be trying to improve all the areas of our life, and definitely, obviously, homeownership being a big piece of that, because you can start with your first home. Obviously, that's important, but you could even, as you talked about house hacking, right? Like, what if you live there as your primary, and in 2 years you buy a new primary and rent that one out, and you start to build a portfolio of wealth? I mean, there's so many different ways that our clients can improve that way, and so I think that
it's awesome.
That's a great piece.
The opportunities in real estate are awesome. I know you hear about it all the time. You see all the little YouTube videos of different things people do, but it's a real opportunity. One thing I love about real estate is you're doing it anyway. You got to live somewhere. You got to pay somebody to live somewhere. So this is not, investing in crypto. This is paying your rent. Only you're paying your rent to yourself by paying your mortgage, and eventually, hopefully, that mortgage being paid off, and you're only paying taxes and insurance. So therefore, I remember when I bought my first home, right? I was still in college, and I was living somewhere, and the rent was like $400 a month. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to $650 a month. I was scared to death. I was scared to death of $650 a month.
Yeah.
Would not kill for a $650 a month house payment today.
Yeah.
So, and with that, and people say, again, right now being high, imagine what they're going to be like in 5 years, 10 years, as things, continue to escalate, so, the people say, well, is now a good time to buy? Well, do you want to wait and would you rather pay $320,000 for that townhome or $450,000 for that townhome in 9 years?
Yeah, because give it time, it will be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was the same.
Yeah.
I mean, I bought my first house for, I think it was like $105,000. I bought my first house, and I was terrified of that payment. I didn't know if I was going to be able to make. I mean, it was a stretch, right? From what I think I wasn't paying anything at the time, in rent. We were living at home, and then to just have to have that big payment that you're not used to, it is scary. And somehow you just make it work, and I tell people all the time, when I bought my first house, okay, it was this old brick house, right? And it was painted blue, and the countertops were blue Formica, and the cabinets were painted blue, and even it was like blue, like a light blue with a darker blue trim paint, like painted trim to give it an outline. I mean, come on. The floors were concrete, and but we loved that house. We loved that house, and over time, we upgraded the cabinets. We took out some of the blue, and just little things here and there. And as our income went up over the years, and we gained some equity in the house over the years, guess what? We turned it into a rental for a little bit, and then we decided to sell it, and we made some money. All that money we put into it. So, I mean, your stories, my stories, anybody who says I started with my first home, and you know what? It doesn't have to be perfect, because it's probably not your last home.
Hey, started from the bottom. Now we're
here. Right?
Oh wow!
You want to say that? You want to say that?
Yeah. So very good. In real estate, again, you don't have to be a superhero or a celebrity or anything like that to benefit from home ownership. Anybody with the proper training and information and knowledge can do it. So yeah, we appreciate time. Do you have any other?
Yes, I just want to finish it up with one last question. I really want to know, what is it that makes you such an important piece to the process for your clients and for your realtors? What's the Alonzo special sauce? Why work with you?
Well, I love it.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
No,
Period.
no,
Nobody
no,
loves it more than Melissa.
no. I mean, you know, I love it. I love it. Helping people to achieve that goal. But to be honest, it didn't start off that way. I hated it. You know, I actually graduated with a degree in recording industry production. So here are all these gadgets and tools
Yeah,
and
no
stuff
kidding.
that I like to use. But I wanted a quick transaction. I started off in auto finance, and I loved being able to go in and helping somebody buy a car that day. I didn't have to deal with you for 10 days, 30 days, a year. You know, I didn't have to go through all the different parties and talking to your mom, your grandmama, going over your house, picking up documents, you know, getting all that stuff. But over time, because I was a responsible young man, husband, father, this was paying the bills, and that's what I had the opportunity, and I just grew to love it. I love helping somebody reach that ultimate goal of homeownership, and I also love hooking people up. You know, I like hooking people up with programs, different things like that. Back in the day, I mean, I've done some pretty crazy loans, like with three liens on it, and you know, but I didn't mind doing that, going the extra mile, making it a little bit more challenging for myself and the underwriters who love to see me coming with my three liens, right? But you know, again, we do what we have to do. So that's why I love, you know, and I love closing on time with less stress. That's a big deal to me. You know, it's stressful enough going through the process, but that's why I really like being here because we've been able to get loans closed in a just an amazing way. So I'm excited
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah. Well, I know that all of your fans and friends and family can see that because, you know, when you're posting those videos of clients who closed and you guys are smiling and happy and excited, you know, that shines through. So I think, you know, you can sit here and say you love it, but, you know, I think that saying it is one thing and really having that shine through and be the truth. I mean, your people can see that, and it's pretty awesome.
But I want to say something real quick. So Melissa came in, and I was like, "Who is Melissa? Who is this Melissa?" And she's been here with us, and I'm just I'm just pleased. Again, she's a producing area manager, so she does loans as well. She's come from Arizona, and I'm watching her grow her business, doing really cool stuff,
Yeah.
and also leading this team. And one thing I will say, she is ferocious in the most gentle, loving way, and I really appreciate that. She comes through for us. If there's that needs to get done, I know I just make a call and she'll stop what she's doing. Like even now, stopping what she's doing to be on this live with us and just share some information. So kudos to Bill and to Melissa and our team here. And just if you're looking for a place to do loan, matter of fact, not only that, if you're a loan officer watching this video and you're looking for a place to close on time with less stress with really cool products like this one, let's do this. I want to share something real quick before we jump off here. Now, I'm not even sure if this listing is still available, but it may be. This is Aaron Lovett. Aaron Lovett is one of my partner agents, a good friend. He's out of Wycott, out of Murfreesboro. He has this beautiful listing at $619,000. It's in, I want to say Smyrna. It's in Smyrna. Been to the home. It's phenomenal. A phenomenal home. 4 bedroom, 4 bath. This property's location will allow you to possibly consider purchasing this. And this is another thing I really like. Now, I will tell you guys, now's the time to act because things change, okay? Things are subject to change, even programs and products, okay? But if you were to call me today, I'm saying that to say that things may change at some point eventually with different loan programs. But right now, 1% down, lender paid mortgage insurance. So you don't have to put down 20% to get your a loan without mortgage insurance, okay? So this one has some other great features. Again, this home we could structure this deal so we could purchase it for as little as $6,190 out of pocket. If the seller pays closing costs, which they can in this product, there's a lot of other really cool features. So this is one reason why I love Bell and working in places that can make homeownership a little bit more easy and attainable for individuals. So wrapping it up with that, Melissa, you have any closing words or anything you would like to say for us?
I am all out of words of wisdom. I think you stole them all. No, just thank you, Alonzo. Thank you for everything you do for your community and for Bell Bank, and thank you for having me here today.
Awesome. Well, appreciate you. And that is it for our weekend update. Go out there, have fun, help some families.
Call Alonzo and get pre-qualified this weekend.
Call us. Call us. All right. We're here, Bell Bank family. Peace out. Appreciate you.